Hi everyone, John here from All Miniatures Great and Small, and today I'm just talking about what's on my painting table. So it's been a little while since I've done one of these episodes. This is just going to be a real quick video. Obviously, as you can see before you, I'm doing some Team Yankee. For those subscribers of my channel, it's been a little while since I've done any Team Yankee stuff. We did the review when the new Stripes book came out. And I intended to get these guys done sooner, but newer and newer projects just kept coming in the queue, and these guys got further down in the stack. So I am going to finish these guys. I'm actually scheduling a game with Mark from the channel to take his Soviets against, these are going to be US Marines for the most part. So what do I have here? I've got M60s. These are all plastics except for the Sergeant Yorks in the back. They're all Battlefront models. But I've got M60s, I've got 11 of them here. LAVs to give me a recon element, some Humvees, and of course some Sergeant Yorks for air support. I think we're only playing 64 points, or that's going to be a total we're going for around there. So I'm not too concerned with a lot of air power, but I still want something, so those Sergeant Yorks I think are good. But so these guys are on my painting table. I've got them all base coated green using the Team Yankee spray can. As far as Battlefront spray cans, I have no problems with those. Their individual paints, though, I'm not a big fan of. You know, the droppers. When they left Vallejo and went to their own mix, I just have not been impressed with those. I've stuck with Vallejo, but I like their spray primer. Was totally fine, and I liked it. So I've got those. Almost everything has just been primed, put together, and finally primed. And then I was testing out different washes. So this was my tester as far as washes. Nothing's been highlighted, but we'll see. And then I'm also internally debating how or if I want to camo these guys. With Team Yankee, and Team Yankee, if you don't know, is basically a hypothetical World War III that takes place in the 1980s. So there is some historical evidence of how things were painted in the 1980s, but once you go into the fictional path of a war starting and Marines rushing over to Europe, as far as how things were painted or deployed or grouped, that goes out the window, because now we're just talking about fiction, historical fiction. So I have a lot of leeway in how I paint those. That's kind of a roundabout way to get to that point. So I'm thinking maybe to expedite it, just leaving them Army green. These guys came out of the factory, they sent them to Europe, didn't have time to apply camo before they got into combat. That would work. Or I could paint them with the Murdak or the NATO 3-tone camo, which my M1 Abrams are painted in, which I like, but it's a lot of work. And as you see, I've got a lot of M60s because they're so cheap. They're not that great of a tank. Particularly T-72 really outclasses it. But as a result, you can afford a lot of them in the list. And their main guns are still good. They're main guns just like the Abrams, so they can still hurt. So I've got a lot of them, is the point. So I might not want to paint camo on everything. So I wanted to do a couple testers and see what I thought. You know, maybe would these be cool if I just put great big American stars on them, kind of like World War II and Korea. But we'll see. So I'm still deciding. But so these are on the table this week. Hopefully I'll get them done and film a game sometime towards the mid to end of July, so that you guys can see this force in action. So let me know what you think as far as how to paint these guys. Should I go with green? Would green work? Would you guys be offended if they were just green? Should I go with NATO or Murdak? What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. What do you think of the Stripes lists as well? The NATO Marine list, I kind of like it. The M60 is not quite as capable as the Army version, but it's still pretty good. And playing the Marines, I get to use the cool LAVs, which are kind of like an American version of the BMP. I just always have a soft spot for that vehicle. It looks so cool. I'm sure they'll die quite easily, but they'll look good while doing it. So there you go, guys. That's this week's episode of What's on the Table. As always, let me know what you're thinking down below. Thanks for watching, and keep on wargaming.